All right. But we might already be live for all we know. So you might be hearing about how I hit start, which might not be that impressive to you. At this point,
it was a nonstop thrill ride on this end, though.
This is pretty exciting. It's like we're in a low gravity environment and we're getting it on. No, that doesn't work. Jeff, take over.
I'm over here in zero gravity.
Oh.
Welcome to the Russian space station. Don't touch anything. Okay. What is this episode? I guess it's a Bashir Dax episode. It's like a science episode, a medical episode. I want to have sex with this girl in zero gravity episode. What are your thoughts, guys? Kevin and Ashley. Is that kind of what you take away from it? Because that's what I took away from it.
What an interesting introduction. Not to supersede
I love
Kevin,
that you said that's what you took away from it too, but you didn't actually say what you took away from it. You just asked questions.
Well, the questions were leading. The questions had a point.
Yeah, but you didn't introduce the show. I thought you were going to introduce the show.
Oh, okay. Welcome. Tuesdays night, season 2, episode 6. Melora is over and has been since 1993. But we are just getting started here. You know, that was the ramble on before, but now we're right.
Yeah, that was the ramble on. Okay, yeah, good stuff. Good stuff.
Okay, so now we're here talking about this episode, guys. Like I mentioned before, it's kind of like it's a good Star Trek episode, I would say. Just because the subject matter it's dealing with, very. I could see this being a TNG episode. I could see it being even in Voyager, but it kind of works here in Deep Space Nine. But it's like not one I overly remember. But it does its job. What say you, Kevin and Ashley, over in there in the Millard clan home?
Okay, well, what I take away from this episode is back in the 90s, handicap stuff was just kicking off, like handicap awareness, and that's what this episode is about. It's sort of lip service to that.
Right. I like the little jab she gives in the episode when she says, "Why would you design? What architect would design a space station where there's a raised lip to like every doorway?"
Yeah,
she's got a point.
The writers are throwing shade at those set designers, and they're saying, "What the hell? That's not what we approved in your sketches." And then you put all these little.
It was just put in there to help with ramp acceptance.
Ramp acceptance.
They needed somewhere to put the light cords, so that's what.
And I think that you're largely right that it was to bring awareness to sort of people living with disabilities and like the issues faced by them and the challenges, and sort of putting yourself in their shoes or in their place. But it's also a few other things. It's kind of it's a romance episode. It's about changing yourself. It's about like sort of about elective surgery, and it's about a whole bunch of things at once. And it's about this character we meet and then we never see again.
Thank God.
Yes,
because she is. Handicap doesn't mean she has to be such a bitch. Why did they write her like that?
She is like literally like I'm sure the actress was like seriously like this bitchy, because she's pretty harsh, especially the first half of the episode. She's laying into people pretty thick, and everybody's like, "Hey, like we see what you're doing." And
although Sisko tends to be really lenient on the lower decks people giving him fucking sass. Like that episode where O'Brien is like, "Oh, we can't have you not having your coffee," or whatever.
Right.
And then this one, and Sisko just lets it roll off his back.
Is Melora a lower decks character?
She's an ensign, so yeah.
In a sense, like they're all kind of lower decks in some sense, because like initially, like it's a commander and a bunch of junior officers basically. Like Dax, like even Bashir is only a lieutenant junior grade, and for a doctor, that's pretty low ranked. Doctors usually at least get to be lieutenant commanders, like out of the gate.
Yeah.
So it's because they're doctors. So Bashir must really not be doing well as an officer, or he's super young, I guess, is maybe the other alternative. But yeah, she's sort of just a guest star. Like there was like the one that was the romance with Picard. Remember though, she was like, I'm a stellar. It's always the stellar cartographer. That's always like the like. When else do we need stellar cartography? Is only when we have this one random guest star that we want to bring in.
There's a lot of downtime in stellar cartography, so they're all kind of horny.
Yeah, it's just looking at, and the Delaney sisters on Voyager were from stellar cartography. You know, it's a boring subject, stellar cartography, if you ask me.
Yes, astrophysics with the whole 7 and 9's the astrophysics wizard, and it was just an excuse to have like 7 and 9 have her own set.
7 and 9 was astrometrics. That's cooler.
Sorry.
I think. I think stellar cartography lamer.
I mean, potatoes. Okay, so moving on to this episode, guys. Who's loving Bashir in this episode? I mean, I kind of am. I mean, he's working hard.
This is a great episode for him when he calls her on her bullshit. That's a great scene in there.
Yes.
As well.
Yes. And he gets to pretend to be like Peter Pan. So that was a bonus for Bashir. Dave, what make you of Bashir in this episode? Like, do you think it's one of his strongest episodes to date? Do you think it's an evolution, or do you think he's still kind of lame?
I think it's indicative of what we've seen in a few episodes here. We also talked about it in Cardassians. He played a bigger role in last week's episode too, and sort of getting more in it with Garrick and Gul Dukat and doing all that. And here he is, sort of bringing someone out of their shell, like sort of being the extrovert, or not just annoying Julian Bashir. It's sort of this like course correction evolution that his character desperately needed. Like I think that they probably sat around between season 1 and 2 and said, what's going on, what's working, what's not working, and everyone hates Bashir. Oh, maybe it's because we've written him terribly so far. Maybe we should stop writing him badly, and we should start to give him a personality and make him compelling in some way, even if he doesn't quite get along with all of the other senior officers quite yet.
They made him more capable in the second season. He was kind of a goober in the first season. Do you think we're supposed to do something?
Maybe we're supposed to do something
in the hallway. Like
he's like the opposite. Oh, he's kind of like Breaking Bad. Like he starts off as like this like dweeby nerd doctor guy that like nobody likes, and then he turns into like this secret agent, but this is with the 7th season, so it's like he kind of slowly evolves in confidence for sure. You could definitely say that, but in this episode, I guess this is like the start. This is like the seedling, if you will, of Bashir's confidence, and he's someone has to fill the horny role because Sisko's not going to do it. So Bashir needed the Riker, Kirk.
I guess Bashir is meant to be the Riker of this crew, or the Kirk. If Riker is the Kirk of his,
I don't know. Riker was successful. He's more like the Morty of this crew.
No, I'd say he's somewhere in between. Maybe he's the Worf. No, but Worf shows up, so he can't be the Worf.
He's like a Riker, but not as good.
No.
Yeah. Like, is he as good as is Tom Paris the Riker of his crew?
Maybe it's Tom Paris. Like, because it's not O'Brien. He's married. Sisko's divorced, a widow, and he's also
Sisko's complicated. He's like relationship wise, he seems he obviously Cassidy Yates comes along, but it's not necessarily. He's not an active dater or romance. He has no real romantic.
Jadzia is the Riker of this one.
Who is?
Jadzia.
But they don't talk a lot about it. or show it.
He does
She does
all the time.
all the time.
Yeah, she is, but she isn't as well. Like
In this episode, there was kind of like a line, right, where she said, is there room for like romance in Starfleet or whatever it was, or
Yeah.
what was the? Yeah, and she goes, yeah, all the time. And she's like, but seriously? And she's like, oh, seriously, huh? Something along those lines, right?
Yes.
Yeah. So.
Oh, you mean like romance, not like
yeah. Not like romance. Okay, what do you think about the B plot here, guys? In this episode, we got like the parrot-looking guy, with Quark. And he's like, I love how he goes in there and he threatens he's gonna kill him, and he's spilling his stew and his food, and I just think it's kind of funny. Like Quark just doesn't give up. Like he's just like, here are some Dabo girls. Do you want a bunch of holosuite stuff? What do you want? He's still even though the guy said he was gonna kill him, he's still trying to bribe him.
Okay. I just want to say I loved this guy who plays the alien, the Fleet who's going to kill Quark. He is. Do you know who this is, Jeff?
No, who?
I know you're also a Seinfeld fan. I know I keep bringing up. Good thing Jameel's not here because, it's he would not be happy I brought up Seinfeld. But this guy was what's his name? Crazy Banya. No, not Banya. Crazy Joe Davola.
Crazy Joe, yeah, okay.
Remember Crazy Joe Davola?
Yeah.
So he's like the Crazy Joe. If Crazy Joe Davola was on Star Trek, which is exactly what this is, which is he was like the sad clown on Seinfeld, like who blames Jerry for getting fired from NBC as a writer on Blossom. I believe it is. So it's like a whole plot line, and he just like he dresses up like Pagliacci, like the sad opera clown.
Yes.
And it's just great because Jerry and Elaine think that he's going to kill him the whole episode, and here he's coming after Quark. Like he plays like a murderous kind of like intent guy really well. I just think it's great. I think it's great that Joe Davola showed up here.
Worst makeup ever, though. I just wanted to grab his nose and carry him around like a suitcase.
Yes, I am totally with you. I hate this makeup. I think that it was a disservice to this actor.
Yes.
That he had that it was blocking it. Like Gene Roddenberry's rules around these makeups was you got to be able to see eyes and you got to be able to see the lips, like the mouth, generally, right? Or at least like the eyes, at the very least. You have to be able to see the eyes so you can still see the actor. Geordie LaForge may be an exception. So it's not great. It's an like why would any species have this thing in front of their mouth for? And they eat.
Maybe they were a race of really fat people and they needed an impediment.
I think they're like
birds. Only the ones that had that survived. They come from a planet of abundance.
I think they're like birds. They're like, like the type of, I think that thing opens.
No, he was eating around it.
Oh, he was, yeah.
And drinking around it, and like it's.
No, he was drinking around the camera.
Yeah. Every time he took a drink, it was off camera.
It's a bit much.
Yeah, he was like, I can't drink with this freaking thing coming across my lips.
What did you guys think about the scene where Bashir and Melora go to get Klingon food? And you got the rocked, and you got the glotz with no sauce, of course. And
I friggin' loved it.
The Zilmcock.
It's my favorite thing in this whole episode, Jeff.
The Zilmcock.
I just like when the Klingon throws the plate behind him.
Yeah, that's the best part. When he throws that plate, and she goes, and then she yells at him in Klingon, and she's like, "That you need fresh rocked."
Take order. Shall I order for us both?
All right.
Can you still hear it?
Let's see now. We'll have some racht, of course.
Racht.
And a double order of glatscht, no sauce, please.
Glatscht Fusubal.
And a side order of Zilmkach. Is that too much for two?
Klinkraft.
I bet you that Klingon wants to kill him.
May I?
Don't be alarmed.
Excuse me, Julian, I can't eat this.
I know how it looks, but...
The cara de la fracnal? Dogabol ratar.
The
tail clapabul. Pork de bol.
De cara del Gardena.
I like a customer who knows what
If
she
we ever
wants.
did that on Star Trek Radio Theater, that would be fun.
He just fucking
He just throws
Your
it.
dinner. There's nothing worse than half dead racht.
Yeah. Anyway, so it's I don't know why anybody would eat this. Okay, here's my question for everybody: would you eat Klingon food, or would you try Klingon food?
I don't get why like
gummy worms.
I feel like it's
Okay.
like supposed to be like Chinese food. Like that's how it's supposed to be viewed. Like it's like if you just like your normal food and it's like this foreign food and it's just like kind of like noodles or wormy or whatever. And you know, like I don't know, it's just like the impression I get.
I think it's a lot like I think it's just like sort of like foreign food in general,
Yeah.
and the culture in America and around the world about like I want to try something different. I'm going to Korean restaurant, or I'm going to even like there's restaurants from like Somalia, and like you're like I don't know what Somalian food tastes like, so you know I'm gonna go try that or whatever. And so here's Klingon food on the promenade, and you get this really big energetic singing Klingon with a weird violin, who's doing like it's like Lady and the Tramp.
Right.
Okay.
What did you guys think about the fact that Bashir was a tennis star? Then he gave that up to be a doctor. Ashley,
I always said,
I
yeah.
don't really care.
you care about his tennis days?
No.
When he was frolicking around the grounds of Wimbledon, Julian Bashir.
No.
Julian Bashir. Okay, I think the fact that we learn, because we can talk about this, right? That the fact that Julian Bashir
Yes.
is
Yes.
genetically engineered, right? So just in knowing that we know that that's the real truth about him. Not know then of course the writers didn't know, the actor didn't know at the time. It's a retcon, but it is what it is. That's the canon of the show. So he, as a genetically engineered person, decided, what will I use my genetically engineered powers to do? I will either use it to best everybody at tennis or best everybody at medicine. And well, I guess he that shows like his strength of character, because he chooses to use his powers for good instead of just for sort of,
Or being too good at tennis would have exposed him.
Yeah.
and he played the odds.
Yeah.
Yeah, because he says he dumbs himself down.
Right. And
So he
he
doesn't
he
get-
could have been first in his class, so he chose to be second in his class.
Right.
Yes.
That explains everything about Bashir for season 1 and 2 because
He's
you
dumbing
know,
himself
he's
down.
dumbing him down.
He's checking to see how
So-
smart he can be around
Yeah.
these new people.
He's flying under the radar.
Yeah, it's a scale, and
Yeah.
he starts it right at the bottom, especially like for, pilot episode.
And then he'll slowly work his way up and see how far he can go before they go, wait, what's happening with Bashir?
Wait, when did you get smart?
Yeah, why? How did he figure this out?
breaking smart.
Right. But even though he's smart, Bashir, it's not like he can do anything. It's like he doesn't know how to. He can't fix do something like O'Brien can do, for instance.
Right.
No, because
He's specialized
he hasn't
in
learned it. Yeah.
Yeah.
He hasn't learned it. But if you were that smart, I think you'd learn everything. Just like you.
Yeah, but a lot of his brain is taken up with trying to get laid.
Yeah.
Yeah, tennis, getting laid, and how smart can I be?
Yeah.
Singing songs.
All right.
And getting drunk.
Yeah.
He's not
Can he
Cass.
get drunk?
He's not that
Cass.
lame.
No.
Yeah.
Is he the
I like
weakest
him
of the-
better on this second go through because now I realize that his character is supposed to be annoying.
I think so.
So I don't find him as annoying to watch.
Mhm.
In this episode, I really like though. I really like the Quark and Odo stuff. Like they don't have that many interactions, but they're good.
Yeah, I think it's more interesting with Quark here. The fact that he was good friends for many years with Crazy Joe Davola. I like this backstory of the fact that they were stealing Romulan ale, and somehow Crazy Joe Davola took the fall for it, and spent 8 years at a Romulan prison camp or whatever it is. It sounded like it wasn't a fun place. He had to carry bricks around, but But then he shoots Melora in the thing, right? And they go, "You friend? You know this guy?" He's like, "Yeah, we've been friends for years. Until today, I never thought he was too bad." But he killed the Iridian that they made the deal with for the little gold bracelets or whatever.
Yeah.
But I thought that with Odo, the fact that Odo's like, he's trying to kill me, and Odo's like, damn, I have to do my job.
Yeah.
Kill this guy. But
Or when Quark walks in, it's like, don't be so glad to see me. And he's like, I won't. Okay, I won't.
What did you guys think about that scene where Dax and Melora are like on the runabout, and then they put on the music, and I was like, "This is like I don't ever remember Star Trek like putting on music like other than like sometimes like Picard would or whatever." But like
They're usually alone when they put on music.
yes, and they put it on during work while they're flying around, which would seem pretty awesome to do. You put in some music, fly around in space. Yeah.
Again, I think yes.
What do you? I was gonna say, what do you guys think about that?
It was odd.
Did you enjoy it, Dave? Did you feel like
I loved it? I loved it because
I think Dave loved this episode.
I think so.
Yeah. No, I don't like the story. I don't like her so much. Although
she's the only real problem with this story is
that
character.
I think what it does with Bashir's character, she is the title character of the episode. But I liked sort of like the derivatives of this episode, which includes like the Klingon restaurant, the world building that they've established here, the fact that there's this new species, the Alasians, who are from a low grav environment. I think that the way her character is written, and I just think that her story arc isn't necessarily. I think it's interesting, but not compelling, and I think that I also like just like this. Okay, they're flying around and they're getting to know each other, and they listen to Vulcan music, or then later she tells us the story about the Little Mermaid. It's an Earth story, so showing how these cultures in the Federation are sort of integrated with each other, and there's sort of cross fun and just what you would do when you're killing time flying around doing stellar photography.
Ashley, is this a good comparison to the Little Mermaid, the story of Melora?
I guess in some ways.
Indiana Troy, in some ways.
Yeah, in some ways. I don't find their romance so romantic. And I think that's my problem, is I'm not super sold on it. Bashir is a bit of a creepy stalker at the beginning of this episode, and it just kind of turns me off of their whole romance. Like, he's literally talking before she even reaches the station, and he's talking about how he's looked through her entire medical records and all of her Starfleet Academy records. And I'm just like, that's creepy. Like, that's internet stalker creepy.
And he hits on her
And
only after she has like sort of this altercation with Cisco, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, but he was already being kind of weird at the beginning, like very like, oh, I can't wait to meet her. Like, just it was weird.
He's desperate.
Yeah. It's just what I thought about the whole thing. I was just kind of like,
okay.
Yeah, I'm kind of with you because what was this? The pickup line really is, "I'm no longer your doctor."
yeah.
And then he says, "Ooh, is that an attack?" And then that's how he gets you. Those are the Julian Bashir moves.
I think when he delivers that red alert, that's brilliant.
Oh, red alert!
That one line I think was delivered perfectly.
Yeah.
Dave, I have a question for Mr. Uniform Man.
Okay.
So if you see my screen here that I'm sharing, I will explain what I'm talking about. Okay, you see how Bashir Melora's color is like teal, but then Dax's color is more like a bluish teal. How come her uniform's different?
It looks like it's probably a different production run or something, and there's a different
One might be older.
maybe a slightly older, more worn, maybe some more sun damage.
They're supposed to be the same color.
Sun damage.
Sun damaged in space.
In space.
in space. I don't know.
On a
Maybe they were on
space
vacation.
station, it's sun damaged.
Not on space station, but who knows? They go on.
They go
vacation,
other
but
places.
they go other places. They're in space. Jeff, okay, like this is not too bad. I'm willing to forgive it. I was just watching a Next Generation episode from season 7 that was driving. It was Masks, or no, it was Lower Decks. I think it might have been Lower Decks, and the original, the title episode for like or
Yeah.
from the show, the cartoon's based on, and like. It was like one guy's got like this, the Vulcan guy. He's got like this super tight version of the uniform that's not even the same yellow as Geordi LaForge's yellow. Sometimes Geordi LaForge's gold doesn't match his Worf's gold uniform, doesn't match his Data's gold uniform. Drives me crazy. I'm like, because at the time, probably on most TVs, it didn't show up too differently when they looked at it, but in high def and what they have it in now, it shows. Speaking of uniforms, I have a note about this episode. This neckline on Odo's uniform is terrible. Okay, he doesn't get the high up collar until I think next season, maybe. I am counting down the episodes to that. Like it is hideous. Like
You
Somebody
have
have a picture?
you have a picture, or do I have to look it up?
I can find it. Hold on.
I got it right here. I got it. One sec. You talking about this?
Oh yeah, I'm talking about this. Of course.
Oh yeah, I'm talking about this.
Oh,
Okay,
yeah.
let's put that up. Okay, now it's not so bad there, but sometimes, especially if he's sitting down, it looks terrible. Fine, I'm sitting down, Jeff. Here.
Yeah, and I noticed this episode, and I guess it's in the earlier seasons. His face doesn't seem as smooth as it does in the later seasons.
No, the makeup gets better too.
Yeah.
But it's also just the fact that he has this. And I just got to be careful how long I put any kind of subtitles on screen, Jeff. So you gotta...
There.
Yeah, it's bad.
Oh, yeah,
it's
that's
bad.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And
it's
even-
hard
okay.
to take him seriously at that point.
Well, it doesn't look good. Like I get that, and even again, it's fine. It's fine for his deputies. It just doesn't. It doesn't even look good on Rene or Bergenois. And so he adds this collar because the Bajoran uniforms, like at least in Kira and Odo's case, they get a little bit of updates along the way that I think mostly make them look better. And here the uniform doesn't look great. So just wanted to say that I was watching this tonight and say, man, I can't wait for Odo to get that collar.
Yeah. I can't wait for Bashir to stop being kind of a little creep in this episode a little bit. It's
Well, it
You're
works.
right.
If
He
she had slapped him or
desperation.
rejected him, and then he was just, then I guess the episode would have been probably better served from them not having a romance. But I also like the fact that it talks about cross alien relationships, right? Like, interspecies erotica, if you will. And
it does.
there's some example of like a couple that Dax says that were in love that didn't even breathe the same air, right? Or like they couldn't even be in the same room for more than 30 minutes without breathing apparatuses.
Do you think it would have been more powerful had when Crazy Joe Davola just shot Melora? That was it. Like he killed her there, rather than like the big, float through the air like Mission Impossible and stop Crazy Joe Davola. That's what ends the episode. Do you think they should have just like killed her and then that would have been sad, and then they could have had like a sad moment for Melora?
It would have been a better episode just because the ending that we did get with, I respect that she didn't want to give up going back to her home world, and like that's the choice and whatever, but she also chose to be in Starfleet, so she's kind of talking out of both sides of her mouth, if you ask me. Like it's and I don't understand, like I get that only a few of her homeworld have left, but I think that there's like there are ways to get around her, like the fact that she needs a low grav environment, that even if it's on this space station that isn't equipped for that.
I also think it's dubious that, like, I get when he's saying don't go back and forth while we're doing the treatments, but 20 years from now, she's not going to be able to go back home. Like, why?
Yeah, why? I don't understand why can humans not survive in their environment? Like, I have a lot of questions, Jeff, about these Elasians and what's going, because we never see them again. They never talk about them again. But like, and what kind of a planet is this? Like, where people could just jump around up into the sky? They would
Jump around, jump up, get down. Go.
like, because here we got the picture of Bashir. Well, this is actually Sadiq Al Fadil on that sound studio, but you see him there. He's very, whoa, I'm up flying like Peter Pan, right? And where was I going with this? The fact that, like, I respect the fact that there's a planet that has, of course, we talked about this last week. Like, of course, there could be planets that have different gravities. The moon has a different gravity than Earth. So does Mars. Every planet has a gravity relative to its mass. That's how gravity works, right? But
they should have made it. They should have made it like her planet is so big. You know what I mean?
Right. It would. What is that? What? No. It's. I don't know. How, I think it would be the smaller the planet, the weaker the gravity.
Okay, it's so small.
It's got to be super small. So, right.
Actually,
So
density and mass, not.
it would have to be like the size of the moon, basically, based on what we kind of, because it was kind of like moon gravity almost, maybe even weaker than that.
Maybe.
Yeah, maybe.
So maybe that's a cool place to go. Like, I think that's the other opportunity in, like, because Star Wars did a bit of this kind of stuff in the Lucasfilms, like the new ones, where they showed just these amazing planets with these amazing, like, crazy life forms and things and aliens and backdrops. That's kind of one of the fun things that you can do with space travel. And so I want to maybe revisit Alasia, but I don't need to revisit the Melora character.
Well, I know she can't go back. I was just gonna say, well, she can't go back, but yeah, she can. She decided differently. Really, you want more of them?
Well, I not even them, just like another planet like them. Like, I want to kind of know what, but you have already set them up on as well.
Yeah, up until this point, the only difference in any of the planets really have been most other planets wear short shorts and skimpy outfits. That's about it. Other than that, they all look kind of like Earth.
And they all have the same gravity as Earth.
Yeah.
Right. And I guess you could say that, like, well, these are the conditions that would be the most suitable for life,
I guess.
Yeah. So
life that we could interact with.
Yeah.
Yeah, I guess so. Like, and that's the thing too. Like, now that special effects have improved, you have way more opportunity in Star Trek. Back then they did that, right? Back then it was whatever you can kind of act out is what you had to do. But yeah, Bashir. I guess the only thing that he actually was successful, but it's whatever. Oh, do you know what the other thing I did like too was when Bashir so after they steal the runabout, Jeff, and like Cisco and Bashir and O'Brien have to go after them, and they're on the transporter pad, and like it's the three colors, like the gold, the red, gold, and blue, like the that was awesome.
Remember that time when you were in the Beatles?
Can I find that?
Oh my god!
Oh, it was, yeah. He's right. It was O'Brien, Cisco, and Bashir.
You have it there? I'll show it.
Oh, I have no doubt that he was right.
That was awesome.
You have it? No, not that. Okay, hold on.
They were all lined up.
I'm going to find it. It's so amazing. It needs to be shown.
Is it though?
Oh yeah. I can't find it. Okay, never mind. But
it's so amazing that it was a one-time deal.
Well, it's the three colors, right? Like the uniforms. So in the uniforms, and then you got like Odo with this neckline that doesn't make sense. It's not. He's a shapeshifter. He should be. You should know. Just know.
Better neckline.
Yeah, shapeshifter, better neckline. He gets wise with it eventually. It's just the same thing too with those TNG uniforms. Like, first and second season of Next Generation, they had that like same, like this T-shirt neckline that doesn't look good.
Yeah.
With that sort of,
it's very informal.
It's very informal. I think, yeah, you're a professional. You're chief of security. Don't call you constable. Who are you, Lieutenant Primmon? Constable Rodo. I also another thought. Melora. She went to Starfleet Academy and never resolved these issues of being sort of this different.
She doesn't seem very self-sufficient, but she wants to be treated like she is. Is that kind of what's going on at the beginning? I don't know. And then she's bitching the whole time about, I don't know, the reality. I think
everyone immediately.
Yeah.
Well,
So
yeah, I think it was sort of the conversation is like, you have to recognize limitations, or that you. And I think the speech that Bashir gives is quite fitting, where he's like, yeah, we all have to depend on each other out here in space, but it's not just about being in space. It's about just working together in general as people. We depend on you, you depend on us. We're a team, so just you got to trust everybody and be okay with.
We're all a team. You just happen to be the weakest part of the team.
Yeah.
Right? Part of the team we're gonna have to,
win as a team, we lose as a team. Come on, stellar cartography. Let's go.
Hey yo, yourself, Jim Edelson. Welcome to Live Long and Podcast. Here we are talking about Star Trek Deep Space Nine, Episode 6, Season 2, Melora.
Now he gives the intro.
We're here with all you cool cats and kittens talking about Star Trek. Thank you, Jim. Talking about Star Trek Deep Space Nine. Does the forehead work for you guys here with Melora? It's kind of like reverse Bajoran. It's like because like it's going
her makeup.
Yeah, I don't know. Like, her makeup. Like, I don't know. It's kind of.
I don't know. She looks like every alien on Voyager /
She looks like a Voyager alien. That's a very good.
She looks like a Voyager, because so many Voyager aliens just had that V rigid head or whatever thing they would slap on. They're like, okay, we need like 20 aliens of all this generic species. We're only gonna see once. Okay, we'll just make a V in their forehead and we'll blend it in, and so they'll look like they just have a big bulby forehead. Done. And her, like in Melora's case, she had like this hairpiece or whatever that was interesting, I guess. Like it stood out to me a little bit. She had like this sort of braid. I don't know what was going on. It was interesting.
Almost like Neelix was based off her.
Yeah.
What do you think about the Klingon song when they're having dinner at the end and he serenades her with the Klingon? Serenades both of them with the Klingon song.
Well, it's basically like, did she break up with him here at the end, and then he's like kind of bummed out, right? And she's like, "No, I just want to stay and listen to this song."
I think so. I just was playing. I don't know if like this part of the episode.
Oh, you must be exhausted.
I think it goes on a little too long, but it's also the pain on Bashir's face makes it worth it to me.
If you don't want to stay,
No, let's just sit a while and listen.
Just sit away.
Just sit here and look at me right after I wrote.
It would be great if he had thrown his violin behind his shoulder, like he to play a flute.
I want to remember all of this.
He kind of looks at her like, whatever.
Yeah, he's like, okay. He's like you make fuck now?
Does this
Now.
does that look like a man who's happy, who's had a good day? I don't think so. All right.
He's like, you're ready,
He's
right?
He's still trying to seduce her.
He's like this close again. This close.
Like, just once, really? Just once?
Just
And then
once. I'd like to
give you all these medical treatments.
I'll take even the pity fuck. I don't care.
Yeah, come on, let's do it in the low grav environment again. He can go to the holodeck anytime he wants. What is
Yeah, he could just turn the gravity off, off in his.
Yeah. They play with gravity all the time. Why did they have to install something special in her quarters? Like,
they say it's a Cardassian's technology, but
okay,
I don't know.
sure.
Why, if there was issues with doors, why did she not have a chair that hovered? We've seen them in Next Gen. Like, this is the only time in Star Trek that I've seen.
Even Captain Pike's chair hovered.
Yeah,
Right?
Captain Pike. Yeah, see, there's precedent for this.
In Star Trek, wheelchairs typically hover. They don't have wheels.
They're hover chairs.
Yeah. So why?
I think it's Cardassian technology.
Nothing can hover above deep space.
That's always the explanation. When nothing, when
On a Cardassian space station.
we're on a Cardassian space station, nothing works right. What do you want? Like, that's our explanation for everything. But this is also an amazing space station that can do anything. So it's quite contradictory. It sucks and is amazing simultaneously. It is.
Why does Bashir have to build something? Why doesn't she have her own chair? Why do they have to bring a chair for her when she gets off the ship? Why doesn't she just have her
They
own?
say that they haven't even ever created one because they haven't had to replicate one in like 100 years or something. Like,
They haven't created one because all the other chairs hover. They didn't know how to use wheels.
They're like, wheels? What's that?
Yeah.
like
You
this
mean it
episode
stays on the ground?
This episode's kind of dumb too because there would be like ways around this with technology, several ways. She could wear a suit that would just move her around or whatever. Like,
Yeah.
it's the future. They can do all kinds of things, but it's just tell a real world story, and I get the point of it. But I like it's not my favorite.
I didn't even pick up on that. That's hilarious. Yeah.
You guys ready for some fun facts? Or
I'm ready for fun facts. Hold on, I get the graphic.
there is a Live Long and Podcast emoticon?
Yeah.
Well, there's a fun fact. All right. Fun facts. A character like Melora Paslar was initially to be Deep Space Nine's science officer because the producers liked the idea of a character who came from a low-gravity environment. However, due to the difficulty and expense of recreating the effect constantly, the character was replaced by the Trill Jadzia Dax.
Good move.
Yeah. Good move, but I think that that's something in Star Trek and science fiction now that special effects has improved that they should explore more because I think among other things, other different types of planets and possibilities for life.
Yeah, but make them at least moderately likable.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes,
Right.
that would be better. Make them compelling and good.
I don't think they would have made her like this if she was a part of the main cast.
I should hope not.
Oh, no, not anyway. All right. Ron Taylor, the Klingon chef who sings in the final scene, is an accomplished blues singer and has earned 2 Tony Awards.
Well,
In
he's
Klingon?
win a Klingon opera
In
award
the
soon,
natural Klingon. It's always best in the natural Klingon.
in the original.
For the photo of Melora with her brother, Dan Curry took a photo of the two actors and then one of the Santa Susana Mountains at the west end of the San Fernando Valley and composited the 2 shots using a photo editing program. After all the effort he put in, the photo was only visible on screen for 2 or 3 seconds, so Curry didn't mind commenting, "Some of our shots may easily represent thousands of man hours, but the audience recognizes the attention to detail. We always feel good enough doesn't cut it." Now, that photo looked like crap. I
Yeah.
thought.
Awful.
So did almost all of the special effects.
Okay, moving on. This episode marks the first appearance of the Klingon restaurant, guys.
Yep.
Does it come back again? I don't remember it being in
Yeah,
the show.
they go to it every now and then.
Yeah.
They talk about it more than anything.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's in Star Trek Online. You see the guy who's there with he's got an accordion.
Is there a dance party in his restaurant?
You can make one.
You can make one if you have a subspace party amplifier. But
You
you
got
have to
a
have
subspace party amplifier.
you gotta get a subspace party amplifier to do that. So it's it's a whole
Okay.
thing. You gotta have some Latin in them.
It's awesome.
The rule of acquisition number 16 is referenced. A deal is a deal.
Yeah, like here we see that Quark is quite honorable in his ethics, and next episode is rules of acquisition, where they're going. That's the title of the next episode. So a little prelude to that.
Right. Actor Alexander Siddig labeled the low gravity scene great fun.
You saw here.
Surprised me.
This is great fun.
He was having great fun.
I'm having great fun. He says, "This is great fun."
Great fun.
Great fun. It's not the Bashir accent, but you get it.
The makeup department created Kott's mouth ridge using durable rubber that looked and moved like a piece of flesh. It is considered by them to be one of the more unique designs seen in Deep Space Nine.
It's awful.
Awful. Imagine being that actor and getting makeup done at like 4 or 5 a.m. and having to wear that for a 12+ hour day. He actually had to eat around that thing.
Straw.
Well, that's what you get, Crazy Joe Davola, because no one likes Seinfeld apparently, and that's what you get for being on that show. You gotta get a thing across your mouth.
Okay.
Accurate.
Ash Rock is
I don't mean that. I love Steinfeld still.
Ash Rock is the first of two Uridians. The other is Yararnak from the TNG episode Gambit Part 1 to be seen with hair and opposable thumbs. All other Uridians seen throughout the various series are generally bald and only have 4 fingers on each hand. While the addition of thumbs may have marked a practical change or a continuity mistake, the fact is that they both uniquely grow hair as well could indicate they both belong to a different subspecies of Uridian or are otherwise only part Uridian.
Maybe they're part Uridian. Maybe, who do you think breeds with Uridians?
Bet you
I do-
Dax-
Yeah.
I bet you Dax does.
I
You get
do-
down with the
yeah,
Uridians.
Dax would fuck a Uridian.
The Uridians are one of the
He was all
ugliest
that
looking
horn,
aliens.
Remember when like he threatened her with the gun and she was like just so cool and calm? She was like, whatever, I'm fucking Uridian. Right?
Yeah, he killed that Uridian. I like saying Uridian. It's fun.
The last one. Jim Martin designed Melora's exoskeleton. I don't know who Jim Martin is, but okay.
But here, this is a Uridian.
Well, he's
No,
That's-
he might be part of the Uridian subspecies. He might
That
have
that is the ugliest alien I've ever seen. He literally looks like a ball of snot.
he looks like a prune face or something. Yeah, so, anyway,
Well, that
Yeah,
ends
you know.
fun facts with the Uridians.
okay, we're ending fun facts. We're good. That means it's time for ratings, everybody. Let's get it in here. And as we were saying earlier, that there's many past episodes that Ashley and Jaemeel and Kevin need to maybe weigh in on because there's not been part of every week. But let's bring this up. You don't have to do it now, of course. But there's a few episodes that maybe are a little higher rated than they should be in the group. So let's go in here. Okay, so Melora. Kevin, you want to start?
3. Only for Quark and Odo. Other than that, fuck it.
Ashley, how do you feel about this episode?
I give this one 4.5.
Hey, Neil not here. It's last week too. Jeff,
Yes.
your rating, please.
What?
5.2.
Okay. I feel like this is a solid 6.6. So
Although actually, it makes sense because you said you loved a lot of stuff in this.
Of different stuff. I think that not the story, but there was other things in this episode I liked.
Yeah.
So between the four of us here today, that is a 4.8 out of 10 average rating. So pretty low comparatively, and it has a 6.5 on IMDb. So between our score and that score, it comes out at a 5.7. So well below the average. And now I am definitely I have the average for the highest rating, and Ashley has the average for the lowest rating. Just say. And
You really do. Wow, that's crazy.
You know why?
I thought I would have the lowest.
Because I haven't put ratings in for some of my favorite episodes.
Yeah, you have fewer
You know,
episodes.
that I don't.
Yeah,
I'm
because
not a fan
tomorrow's
of-
or next week's a Ferengi episode, and you're not.
I know, and
you're
I
out.
won't be here, but I love that episode that you guys are doing next week.
Well, you can always give us your ratings after the fact,
Yeah.
so we can put those into
Or ahead of time, I can always
into this crazy computer machine we have here. So so that's it for maybe Star Trek Deep Space Nine second season episode Melora. Looking ahead to rules of acquisition, Jeff.
Yes.
What is the rules of acquisition about? I don't really even remember.
Isn't it the episode where like there's a big Ferengi meeting and Quarks and stuff? And
isn't that when the Negus first shows up?
I think it's the first episode with the Negus. Yeah.
Well, I thought the Negus was the first episode of the Negus.
Oh, okay,
One
maybe
with
not.
the Ferengi woman that's dressed up as a man.
That's what it is. It's a Pell. And these weird painted aliens from the Gamma Quadrant who, and this is the first mention. Yeah, the Dominion gets talked about.
Right. I think my rating won't be so low next week.
Yeah, it's a good episode.
Yeah.
you're
So
fans. You guys are fans of the Ferengi.
I am,
love
yeah.
I love the Ferengi episodes.
And I think that Quark is one of the better parts of this cast. Like, I think he brings a ton. Like, his character is not necessarily compelling without Armin Sherman being so great in the role, right? So,
Right.
Can I interest you in some high European Beetle stuff? It's just
Yes, and
Cisco
they
and Kira.
I don't know if this was, but they talked about how the Ferengi sell themselves when they die, or pieces of themselves when they die. I don't know if that was in Fun
This
Facts, but
episode.
they mentioned that today.
Yeah.
I think it might have, I don't know if they talked about that before this, but anyway.
Comes up again.
All right.
Okay, well, I think that's it for Melora. I mean, there's not much more to be said about this episode. I think we kind of covered it.
We covered it.
And I think we're kind of going to sign off here. So we'll see you back here next week. Same Deep Space time, same Deep Space channel. And we're here talking about rules of acquisition next week. But that's been
Same Deep Space time is here on Deep Space 9.
Deep Space time, Deep Space 9 at 9 on Tuesdays.
Deep time at 9. No, that's kind of a play on things.
Deep Space 9 at 9. Come on board. We're trucking through season 2. So if you're watching season 2, come along with us and see how much you like, episode to episode. We've been doing every one. And so we're signing off here. And we'll see you next week.
It's Deep Space time.
This is what happens when 50% of the people are
Same Space time. Same Deep Space channel.
PM.
Don't go anywhere, folks.